So I finally forced myself to watch the first episode of Dune Prophecy, and it was a real struggle for me. First, because it's Dune, and Dune has a special place in my heart, and I'd hate to see it go down the mediocre mainstream drain. Second, I really feel like I'm shilling for the fucking YouTube algorithm, because it's a show I don't want to watch. And I'm doing a video I don't want to do, simply because I want the fucking channel to grow, and I guess the show is trendy now. But at the end of the day, I thought if I do have to shill for anything, and I have the opportunity of this something at least being Dune related, then I guess I can survive it and grind my teeth till it's over. So let's fucking get to it. Did I like it? Did I like the first episode? Was I wrong to shit on the trailer when it came out? And were people right for lashing out at me in the comments and calling me a hateful guy who never goes to parties? Well, from just the one episode, I guess it's a bit difficult to give a final verdict, but as an initial verdict, I wasn't fucking wrong. And you morons from the comment section were wrong. Not only is the show mediocre schlock, but it's also even kinda bad. If it was just mediocre, but still didn't have anything glaringly bad, I would have been fine with it. But this has like a couple of really stupid moments that really stuck out to me. But before I get to that, you can have your piece of the cake first, so let me just say what I liked about it. The two main actresses are really great in their parts. They give off amazing Taraza and Odrade vibes, so I love that. I also love the moment where they freak out about a fucking lizard toy being forbidden technology because of the Butlerian Jihad. It really gives the show this perspective of realistic historic turbulence. And what do I mean by that? As in, something happens in people's lives that renders them really afraid of it. And then in their fear of that thing, they start to overemphasize on small details, posing as threats to them, which to other people that don't have this kind of paranoia would look ridiculous. Like for example, Protestants in 16th century England getting overly suspicious of someone having a crucifix or a little statue of the Virgin Mary, giving off the vibe of a scary Catholic boogeyman having been sent by the Pope in Rome to overtake England. In this show, we have people freaking out over a lifelike lizard toy because in their universe, lifelike machines tried to overtake them. And so now, weird as it may seem to us, they're scared of a toy. That's what I'd say is realistically depicted social trauma, and I loved it. And I think that was about it for the likable parts. All the rest of it, I either already forgot about, which is very telling in itself, or flat out hated it. Let me first say why for me there's this inevitable hateful feeling towards this. It's because it's a prequel. And boy, do I hate fucking prequels and how they tend to ruin everything. And even if they didn't, even if we lived in a universe where every prequel series is amazing, I'd still hate that they're always pumping out prequels to everything, because they want to cash in on what's perceived as safe in corporate entertainment. When I fall in love with a story, I care about what happens in the story going forward. I'm anxious about what happens next. I'm invested in how things will turn out in consequence. I don't give a fuck what happened before. I don't care how Darth Vader became Darth Vader. I don't care how Bilbo got the fucking ring. I don't care who sat on the fucking Iron Throne before the events of Game of Thrones. Or, if I care about these things in any way, it will be in like me hearing about them in a subtle reference, like a character in the current story telling us about it in like 3 or 4 sentences. This method just gives us a tiny crumb of the story from the past, out of which our brain has to fantasize a bit in order for us to imagine it by ourselves. And this mental exercise itself makes for great literary and film experience. This is the only way for me to experience any kind of prequel story, not by someone giving me a whole fucking series of movies or shows about it, revealing every single detail and whatever. In art, the magic happens when the viewer has to do some work themselves in order to fully experience its beauty, not when they receive a fucking list of all the points explaining the details of the art piece. Which do you think is gonna impress a churchgoer more? Them reading some beautiful poetic verses from the Bible? Or a fucking biblical scholar explaining to them the linguistic technicalities of those verses? Of course they don't want the fucking details. They're just there for the sheer metaphor. And in this case, I don't care how the Bene Gesserit came around, just tell me something from the main timeline, or don't tell me anything at all. Anyway, you get what I mean. I just generally hate the idea of a prequel. On top of that, what did I specifically not like about this first episode? Well, as I said, I already mostly forgot about what happened in it, because the settings were bland, the actors were bland too, the plot was mediocre, and it generally doesn't feel like Dune to me. Like Nightlife on Salusa Secundus or whatever the hell that was? Are you kidding me? This is Dune, and you're making me watch some 20-somethings go to a disco and get high and fuck. And also, these are the Imperial children. Can you imagine Imperial or royal heirs just going out to bars in whatever era of history? Ancient, medieval, modern, futuristic, whatever. How in the world do you imagine the offspring of the most powerful people in the fucking universe being just left alone to go out partying and fucking across the city? That would never fucking happen unless they're like in disguise or something. It's just fucking stupid. And most of all, it's not Dune. And then maybe even a dumber moment in the very beginning where a Bene Gesserit uses the voice for for the first time. Here's how it happens. She uses it on someone else, then the someone else is shocked and asks, "What is this?" And she says, "It's a new skill I've been practicing." And that's how the voice was discovered. Are you fucking kidding me? Instead of like decades and decades, maybe even centuries of scientific research as to how sound waves can influence the brain and how this could potentially be turned into something that literally gives your vocal cords lethal power, you mean to tell me this one girl just found it out all by herself? I'd like to ask the person who wrote this into the script if maybe you drank some kind of a dumb juice when you thought of this? Like, were you okay? Were you all there? Because if I stuck a pen up my ass and tried to write on paper with it, I'm pretty sure even that would generate something better. And there was some more stupid crap throughout this episode, but I honestly just can't make myself care and keep writing this stupid script. And the negativity is fucking killing me. I can't believe I'm doing this for Dune of all things. But I guess I should have expected it. There's no chance in hell those amazing new films could have come up in the world without some side effects. The side effects being Dune coming into the mainstream, hence corporations now having to vomit out Dune content by the year, 90% of it being garbage. Anyway, I'll be back on this one if the next episodes make me feel like I have something to say of substance.